Welcome everyone. In this video today, I'll be talking about CPA being certified public accountant. A lot of students ask the question, should we go for CPA or we should go for CA slash ACCA? What does the scope look like in the broader world, the salaries involved, the role involved, and where we can see our future going. So in this video, I'll be talking basically about CPA in detail. What does it look like? How does that differ from other qualifications in the world? The salaries involved in the world, US, Canada, Middle East, UK, what does it look like for CPAs, and what you should be looking forward when you are opting for this qualification. So first thing, what is CPA and how does that differ from ACCA or CA or other qualifications? So CPA is predominantly focused on US laws regulations. If you know, US has different states and each state has their own CPA exam. So you have to have a CPA license in the US to really operate, do the audits, represent your clients in the taxation matters to IRS, and do other requirements as per their regulations. So you need to be CPA, you need to be licensed professional to do all that. They don't accept ACCA, they don't accept CA, they don't accept any other qualification. You have to be CPA qualified to practice in United States, to practice in Canada, and to practice in some other countries as well. So there's the heavy focus of US CPA when it comes to United States and related PCOB clients and related industries. Now talking about the ACC or the global perspective or chartered accountancy even of different countries, that is more focused on IFRS. That's more focused around the world. If you know, ACC has higher global mobility than CPA. CPA is US focused. CPA does help in other countries as well. I'll talk about that later. But if you're not intending to go to US or settle to US, perhaps CPA is not a good option for you. ACC is a better option. CA is a better option. There are much better options out there than CPA. So CPA, US focused, predominantly US laws and regulations, PCOB framework, ACCA, IFRS focus, global perspective, and then it essentially helps you move different places as against US CPA. Another thing to point out before moving to scope and salaries is different countries try to have their own CPAs as well, but US CPA is predominant. For example, Canada has their own as well. At the same time, if you see different countries build their own CPA bodies, but none of them are really worth it. US one is predominant, and that's where people try to go for it. Now, second part of the video being scope of CPAs around the world and salaries involved. As I said earlier, CPA is predominantly focused in the United States. There's less demand of CPAs in the world because there are, of course, ACCAs, there are, of course, chartered accountants, there are, of course, graduates and masters people already working in the field. So why there's even a need of CPAs. So giving a bit of perspective, CPAs are needed in different countries. Of course, demand in the United States, there's demand in the UK as well, there's demand in Middle Eastern countries as well. And that demand is predominantly driven by any company that's reporting to the US parent. US, of course, has a big financial market and there are a lot of companies have the subsidiaries around the world. So CPAs are essentially employed by a lot of big companies whereby they report back to the United States. They want to follow the US laws and regulations. They want to follow US taxation matters and everything. So CPAs are needed at different places around the world, and there's of course demand of that. On the other hand, being CAs, ACCAs, of course, those guys have higher demand on all the companies around the world except US. Because if you want to go to US, definitely CA slash ACCA is not relevant for you. They don't recognize CA, ACCA really. They don't even give you enough credit hours on these qualifications to sit in the CPA exams. They require bachelor's. So essentially, CA, ACCA are not really recognized in US. So if your ambition is the US, go for CPA. If your ambition is anywhere else, perhaps go for other qualifications. Now, moving ahead to salaries, of course, salaries differ by country, differ by region, differ by industry as well, differ by experience. But let me give you some broad range that I've researched, and I think it will be helpful for you to see what does CPA look like. So, talking about United States, the average salary of CPA is 97,000 only across the United States. Of course, it will be higher in, for example, New York, California. It will be lower in other cities, other states. The range is from 50,000 to 150,000, so it can go generally 250,000 as well. And some other research suggests that high end of the range is essentially 450,000 as well. The experienced CPA earning $500,000 for example as well. Taking into entry level or mid level, of course, entry level you get a lot less money, which starts from $49,000 to $75,000, and then it keeps increasing. But on average, the accountants that go to the United States firms typically earn as assistant manager senior $90,000, $95,000 that I personally know many people. So looking at 100,000 benchmark typically on US CPA in large states and probably little less on smaller states. Now talking about Canada, Canada is typically similar to United States, little lower on salaries but more or less aligned. So you'll be looking at around 80,000-90,000 Canadian dollars of a US CPA salary, typically on assistant manager role in a firm, for example, or industry. So 80 to 100,000 is typically a CPA range in Canada as well. Of course, differs by industries, differs by experience. But if we look at the mid-senior level, your salaries are typically 80 to 100,000. Talking about Canada and United States, CPAs are predominant. Other qualifications are not well recognized, so CPAs are definitely top of line against other qualifications. So if the aim is Canada and US, go for CPA and not for ACCA or CA or other qualifications in that area. Talking about Australia, in Australia, all qualifications are well recognized, CPAs as well as chartered accountants as well as ACCA. So you'll be having similar opportunities in all qualifications. This average salary for CPA looks like 79,000 Australian dollars. And if I think of myself, when I got the offer from Australia as a chartered accountant, I was offered 85,000 in like 4 years back. So competitive salary across the board for all qualifications, and of course differs by industry and cities as well. And similarly, it goes for Ireland and Middle East as well. In Ireland, the salary goes like 50 to 70,000 euros as well, which is similar to what we have for other qualifications as well. So nothing different in CPAs or other qualifications, but there are of course more opportunities in ACCA space, in CA space than CPA space because of IFRS being used in these countries and not US GAAP. For UAE, especially the way the salaries of CPAs are quite in line with the qualifications as well. And UAE CPAs are employed by companies which have a US parent or somehow links to the United States, whereby they need to do the parent reporting or need to comply with the United States laws. So CPAs are typically earning like 180,000 AEDs per year, with a range of 75,000 AEDs to 300,000. So of course that's a high range, and it's not very high if we think of a normal accountant in a firm typically earns as assistant manager 15 to 20,000 AEDs as a CACC. So if you multiply by 12, you are reaching the same level. So nothing special about CPA here. There are less opportunities for CPAs in UAE as well against other qualifications. Salaries are competitive, other qualifications have more opportunities than CPA. To conclude, for the professionals thinking of doing the CPA against CA or ACCA, of course CPA is a good qualification. It's well recognized in the United States and Canada and some other countries, but there are less opportunities around the world because CPAs are focused heavily on one part of the world, which is US GAAP, which is PCOB, which is US regulations. But when it comes to the rest of the world, the laws are different, the accounting framework is different, and the way we operate is different. And you don't really need CPA to operate other parts of the world. CPA is just a requirement of the United States. That you need to have that. USCA, HCA is equally competent around the world, and it's good to go. Hope this helps. Thank you so much for watching.